Hello everyone, and welcome to RadioCSIRT English Edition, your daily appointment with cybersecurity news. I'm Marc Frédéric Gomez, your French cybersecurity voice for today's threat landscape. It's Friday, November 21st, 2025. You're listening to episode 493, live from Valenciennes City, from France. On today's agenda, vulnerability. Microsoft issues a critical alert for SharePoint regarding CV 2025-59245, a severe privilege escalation flaw. Industrial espionage. Google exposes BadAudio, a new malware tool used by APT24, while the infamous ShadowPad backdoor resurfaces in fresh campaigns. Cloud security. Salesforce takes drastic action, cutting off access to third-party applications after detecting unusual activity targeting customer data. Underground economy. And finally, the dark web job market is shifting. New reports indicate the median age of cybercrime job seekers is just 24. Let's dive into the details. Google Threat Intelligence Group has documented a 3-year espionage campaign conducted by APT24, a China-linked threat actor. The operation relies on a previously unknown malware family called BadAudio. Attacks have targeted Windows systems since November 2022. Vectors include watering hole attacks on legitimate websites that serve fake software update pop-ups. A significant supply chain compromise also targeted a Taiwanese digital marketing firm. By injecting malicious JavaScript and impersonating a content delivery network, the attackers affected over 1,000 domains. Additionally, spear phishing campaigns starting in August 2024 have leveraged legitimate cloud storage services for malware delivery. Technically, BadAudio employs control flow flattening to hinder reverse engineering. It achieves execution through DLL search order hijacking. The malware harvests system data, encrypts it with AES, and transmits it to a hard-coded command and control server. Payloads are decrypted and executed in memory to evade detection. Researchers have observed the deployment of Cobalt Strike Beacon. Current detection rates remain low, with most samples flagged by fewer than 5 security engines. Salesforce has warned customers of a potential data breach linked to the third-party application Gainsight. The company identified unusual activity that may have allowed unauthorized access to Salesforce data through the app's external connection. Salesforce stated that this issue is not caused by a vulnerability within its own platform. In response, Salesforce revoked all active access and refreshed tokens associated with Gainsight. The application was also temporarily removed from the App Exchange. As a precaution, the app was pulled from HubSpot, though no suspicious activity was reported there. Threat actors contacted Bleeping Computer to claim responsibility for the incident. The hackers, allegedly tied to the Scattered Spider and Shiny Hunters operations, claimed to have stolen data from 284 organizations before losing access. OnLab Security Intelligence Center has identified a cyber attack campaign distributing the ShadowPad backdoor. The operation exploits CVE 25-59287, a critical remote code execution vulnerability in Microsoft Windows Server Update Services disclosed on October 14, 2025. Following the release of proof-of-concept code on October 22nd, threat actors initiated access using PowerCat via PowerShell. This established a command shell connecting to the IP address 154.17.26.41 on port 8080. On November 6th, attackers utilized curl and srtootle to retrieve payloads from a remote server at 149.28.78.189. The infection sequence employs DLL sideloading. The legitimate binary etdc troll helper.exe loads a malicious DLL named etdapx.dll. This loader decrypts the ShadowPad core file, identified as 0c137a80.tmp. The malware maintains persistence under the service name Q-X64. It injects into Windows processes including WinMail, WM Player, and SVNchust. Command and control traffic is directed to 163.61.102.245 on port 443, utilizing HTTP and HTTPS protocols to mimic legitimate traffic. This activity is linked to Chinese state-sponsored threat actors. Kaspersky Security Services released a report on November 20th, 2025, examining the state of the dark web labor market. The research analyzes 2,225 job posts collected from shadow forums between January 2023 and June 2025. Data indicates that this parallel market is driven by global economic shifts and recent layoffs. A growing number of applicants now explicitly list prior experience within the shadow economy. Demographically, there is a marked increase in teenagers seeking fast earnings, many of whom are already familiar with fraud schemes. 69% of job seekers do not specify a preference and are willing to accept any available work. In terms of specialization, developers, penetration testers, and money launderers remain the most in-demand roles. Reverse engineers currently command the highest average salaries. Recruitment standards in this sector increasingly mirror legitimate employment. Actors prioritize practical skills over formal education and conduct background checks. Supply and demand fluctuations in the dark web market are now synchronized with the global economy. On November 20th, 2025, Microsoft issued a security advisory for CVE 2025-59245 affecting Office SharePoint Online. This vulnerability is rated critical with a CVSS score of 9.8. The issue is identified as a deserialization of untrusted data, tracked as CWE 502. While the advisory title refers to elevation of privilege, the impact metrics classify the flaw as remote code execution. The attack vector is network-based and requires zero privileges or user interaction. Microsoft confirms that the vulnerability has been fully mitigated within the cloud service infrastructure. No customer action is required to address this issue. There is currently no evidence of public disclosure or active exploitation in the wild. And that's the end of this Friday episode. I hope it provided clear and useful information, and if you are a new listener, feel free to subscribe to the podcast. We are available on Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, YouTube channel, Deezer, and Spotify. You can share your feedback by email at RadioCSIRT@gmail.com. All open source intelligence sources used for this episode are available on RadioCSIRT.com, as well as in the episode description. See you tomorrow for a new episode. Until then, don't think, just patch. Bye.